We're seeing investment in the asset base that's more than we've ever seen before. The environment and sustainability is always front of mind, and we need to protect our people. And we're only going to do that and reduce the risk to our customers and the people that work for us by innovating and thinking of new ways of working.
The utilities sector is undergoing massive change, and it's happening right now. From digital transformation in the water industry to cutting-edge advancements in smart grids and the rapid expansion of renewables, the future is literally in our hands.
It's about trying to reach out to those people that have the ideas that can bring them to either a forum or a business or a scenario. And I think that's what the Innovation Forum is trying to do.
The pace of innovation is relentless. To thrive, we need to be at the forefront. Staying ahead of the curve is no longer a luxury, it's a necessity.
It's really important we focus now on developing the plan we've got and providing innovative technology to help us on that plan. It's a really exciting time.
I'm your host, Andy Donnelly, and today I'm joined by Dan Burgess, Director on our contracts with Bristol Water and South West Water, and Chair of our very own Innovation Forum. It's a conversation not to be missed. Dan, welcome to the podcast. Can I begin by asking you what your utility story is? How did you arrive at Network Plus and where from, and how did you begin your career in utilities?
Thanks, Andy. I left school at 18, same as everybody else, went to sixth form, no idea where I wanted to go, what I wanted to be. So I applied, or I should say my dad applied for a few roles for me, the police force, and one of them was for Wessex Water. I was successful, joined the payroll team as an admin assistant while still working at Morrison's and Sainsbury's in retail, and ended up just falling into utilities that way. So I was with Wessex Water for 12 years, went through their graduate programme, trained in a commercial role, and I had a great time learning the industry and understanding client behaviours and how they operate, and learnt loads of fun things on the way.
What was it that Wessex Water saw in you that the police didn't?
I think I'm not quite sure whether they saw something the police didn't. I think Wessex Water was 5 minutes from my house, and it was a really easy option for me. And I think actually what they did is invested in me as a person. They invested in training for me, and actually their culture was something that I could relate to. And actually I'm probably someone that talks a lot and quite enjoys meeting people in new environments, and I'm quite a bit of an extrovert. So I think it didn't take me long to, I guess, meet new people, get around that business, and I think, like I said, they invested in me, and quite happy to put me forward for lots of new opportunities.
I mean, this is an industry, isn't it, that's taken for granted, turning the tap on, flushing the chain, Have you even heard of Wessex Water before?
Absolutely
Even
not.
though they were 5 minutes down the road.
They were, and they're the biggest employer where I live. But like I say, it's not a career or an industry I heard of when I was growing up. I don't think it's an industry that's marketed very well at all within colleges and universities. And I know that's something that we as a business are looking at trying to improve upon. Certainly down in the southwest, we've started to look at opportunities to partner with colleges, so Bridgewater, Taunton, Exeter, to bring apprentices and graduates through. But absolutely, it's not something in terms of the water industry I would have thought of when I was growing up that I would end up in. We just kind of fall into these roles, and it's an exciting industry to be a part of.
I mean, it's interesting you should say that, because we've had one of your team, Florencia, previously on the podcast, and she came through that Bristol University and graduate pathway, didn't she? And there are others that take it.
Yeah, and Florencia is doing an amazing job for us. She's probably not an individual that would be a norm to come into Network Plus or the water industry or utilities. But what it's proving is that diversity is a real positive, and attracting people with a different mindset, different background, and a different skill set is going to be a real positive for us, because we've got a lot of work to get through over the next 3 to 5 years. We're going to need new individuals and groups within not only our business but in a wider a wider set as well. So it's really important we think about these people and how we attract them to our business.
And when did you join the business?
So I joined Network Plus in 2019. They'd just been successful with their first contract out of the Northwest, down in Bristol, and one of the directors interviewed me for a commercial role. I was successful, and we mobilised that contract. It's gone from strength to strength, and we've kind of grown that footprint now in the Southwest, picked up additional work with new clients, and yeah, we seem to be doing very well.
And it sounds like that. I mean, you must have had you've been part of that growth, haven't you? So where have you found time to think about the extracurricular activities like the Innovation Forum? How did you find the time for that?
So I think that's come in the last couple of years in terms of the Innovation Forum and pushing the extra bits through. I think initially it was a really tough few years for the team down there to set up in that geography with a new market and a new client, and we've seen that, but that foothold has given us has been really positive. We've now got the headspace to grow again in the south, that M4, M5 corridor. We've really got a strong place and a platform to push on across water, gas and energy now in the region. But what has done with the team, we've got a really strong team down there now that are self-sufficient and giving the client the confidence we can deliver, and in turn that gives us time to then focus on how we improve, become more efficient, and think about some of these initiatives that we're going to talk about today.
I mean, you said earlier, before we start to focus really on the innovation and the work of the forum, you said earlier that you're a bit of an extrovert. Does that make you innovative as well, or are you innovative because you're an extrovert?
I wouldn't say I'm personally very innovative. I think it's about trying to reach out to those people that have the ideas that can bring them to either a forum or a business or a scenario. And I think that's what the Innovation Forum is trying to do with myself and Victoria, who helped create it. We've got, I guess, the ability to talk to those people that wouldn't necessarily think or feel comfortable reaching out, and we can go and get those people, tap into what they know and what they're thinking about, in order to, I guess, bring that to a wider audience.
So yourself and Victoria created the forum. When was that?
That was probably about 18 months ago now, and part of the exec forum we were in at the time recognised that actually as a group we were very good and are very good at operating the contracts individually, but actually in order to stay ahead of the competition and continue on the growth path as a business that we are, we need to innovate and think about ways we can stay ahead of the market, but also in the environments we're in with our client base. We're seeing investment in the asset base that's more than we've ever seen before. The environment and sustainability is always front of mind, and we need to protect our people, and we're only going to do that and reduce the risk to our customers and the people that work for us by innovating and thinking of new ways of working, and pieces of plant and equipment and all those things that are changing all the time. We have to be all over it.
And you've joined us today straight from chairing a monthly forum, haven't you? And who's on that forum?
So there's probably about 30 people now, and it's a mixture of exec sponsors all the way down to field staff. We encourage as many people as we can to join. We want it to be an open invite, so anybody on the ground or out in the field that wants to join that session is more than welcome. We had a good hour. It's a fun, bouncy session, and we try to make it that way to encourage that inclusion and people wanting to be a part of that group.
And how important is it to get a good spread, a good breadth of experience of workplace and roles? How important is that?
It's extremely. I think we can probably be accused of sitting in our ivory towers as a leadership team, and the only way we're going to find what the problems are or the solutions we need to find is by engaging with the people that are doing the work for us out in the field. They're the people that drive the value for this business. They're out there every day working hard, and we need to understand what's slowing them down, what's unsafe, and how we can make them more efficient in what they do. So it's really important we attract those individuals into the forum.
And how does the forum itself work? If I were to come forward with a suggestion, I can submit a suggestion online. What happens next?
So on a monthly basis, we sit as a group, a leadership team, and we review those suggestions, whether that's through the online facility or conversation or word of mouth. And then we ensure that we assign a sponsor for that project. So that will come into the forum, and we ensure that that's got a group or an individual that will lead that, speak to the relevant supplier or internal supply chain team or whatever it needs to happen to get some legs behind that problem. And then we track that on a monthly basis and have monthly updates and work it from there. But essentially, we're providing a platform for investment in that solution, and whether that's more people, a bit of funding, or whatever that might be to solve an issue, that's what we're trying to create.
Well, let's bring that to life a little bit, because I know that you've probably had 8 or 9 successful innovations, suggestions that have come through the system and have what started out as a suggestion have then been turned into practical solutions across the business. Can you give us maybe an idea of some of those 8 or 9 successes?
Yeah, so one that's particularly relevant to me based on the career I've had and some challenges we faced with the team down south is around barrier weights. So a problem for all our industry, not just Network Plus, is overloading on vans. So all the kit that the teams have to take to every single job, having to set up that job, keep the barrier upright once they leave in stormy conditions or what have you. A problem that we have is being able to not overload the van by taking sandbags or weights or what have you to that job, and then likewise then reducing the risk of a financial penalty from the local authority. So if that barrier or sign falls over, they'll then be hot on the tails and trying to issue us an FPN for whatever the value is to penalise us for that, and obviously keep the public safe whilst we're excavating in the highway. So one thing we've managed to do is trial a lot of products. We haven't got the finished article quite yet. We've got 2 or 3 that are currently ongoing in various contracts to try and solve that as an issue. So it's reducing weight on vans, again helping with CO2 and carbon emissions for the vehicles, and then keeping our customers safe as they walk around our excavations, because essentially our barriers are still standing when we leave.
I mean, it's interesting that, just picking up on this specific example, because some people might think of innovation in that, we need big bang ideas that people stand in awe of. But we're talking here into sort of marginal gains territory, aren't we? Because what might start off as a trial locally, once that's extrapolated across the entire business, those marginal gains suddenly add up to an awful lot, don't they?
Agreed. I think innovation is about implementing something new into the way we operate. So it doesn't have to be a brand new piece of technology that's hundreds of thousands of pounds. It can be something small in terms of an investment in a new role or a process or a piece. It could be a piece of equipment. We attend various roadshows and forums to make sure we're staying abreast of that new technology that's out there. But you're absolutely right. The only way we're going to stay competitive is by squeezing the 1% here and there and keeping the teams moving slightly quicker than they were yesterday.
Right, and anything else on the agenda this morning that we might want to make others aware of?
Yeah, so we had a really good session today around safe dig practices. It's an area of focus for us in line with all the other utility contractors, I'm sure. It's something that we must maintain focus on to keep our teams safe, and there's lots of utilities in the ground. We're excavating every single day, hundreds of excavators out there working hard. And I think one of the things we looked at today, and it's really exciting, is a new piece of technology. It's a GPR scanner on the bottom of an excavator bucket, and as a last line of defence, we're trying to allow the operator on that machine to see what's underneath him or her as they're excavating, so that we can ensure that we're not hitting services and avoiding utility damages. And as we think about how we operate excavators in footpaths around high voltage services, talk about gas mains that are made of plastic that can't be found by traditional avoidance techniques, I'm really excited to see if we can get this trial moving and technology in with Network Plus.
And it's interesting, isn't it? Safe dig is so crucial to what we do. It's, it ought to be our bread and butter, but the risk is great, and the consequences of hitting a gas main or a power cable, they can be quite significant, very significant. For as much as somebody could be killed at worst, but there are lots of other consequences as well out there.
Absolutely, and so we've got the damage to the person, and hopefully that would be minimal based on what they've hit. But you've got the damage to the public, the asset, reputationally, fine coming from other undertakers, where we then have to repair assets, delays to getting the road back open or whatever, wherever we're working. So, and it's phenomenal in terms of the cost to the industry for something that's probably never going to be something we can resolve. It's how we mitigate that moving forward and over the next few years, and limit the amount that we're exposing our teams to in terms of that risk.
And products such as that, are they brought to our attention or your attention through the forum? Are they products that we go out to the market to see if they exist? Or do we go out to the market with companies such as, say, consultancies such as Cogna, and say, we've got this issue, we have this problem, we have this challenge, what can you do for us? How does it all happen?
So that specific example was a suggestion submitted by an individual within the business. He is not in the forum, but submitted it, and we've taken that away, and we're developing that. It's definitely an enhancement of the existing processes, as I said, within the business, rather than a replace. Wider than that, as you mentioned there, we're exploring from a strategic level how we utilise AI technology now in various situations. So I think when Kev was on this podcast, he started to talk about how we proactively look for leaks on the system. We've got 2 companies now that we're talking to around that technology, and how we use no-dig technology to proactively repair these leaks on water mains as well. So yeah, we're really starting to try and get ahead of that curve. I think we're behind, and it's always going to be an enhancement. I think the important thing is the business we have, it's the people. We're always going to be digging holes, we're going to be excavating, we're going to be working in the highway. We can't get away from that. It's how we use the technology to make us more efficient and enhance the way we work.
And what are the expectations on you and other contract directors from the company, from our clients essentially? What are they looking to us to deliver?
For me, it's impacting their customers as little as possible. That's what they want to see, is a silent service, and essentially do more for less. That's what we hear all the time. There's budget challenges across the industry that we hear about all the time, and we constantly, within our bidding process and how we speak to our clients, talk about how we want to be at the forefront of the market, and it's the onus is on us to make sure we're doing that by exploring what's out there, listening to our people, understanding their problems, and how do we deliver a service that's the best in the industry.
I mean, it's interesting, isn't it? Water companies, power companies, value for money is so critical now.
Mm-hmm.
Are a lot of the suggestions that are coming through, are they all about finance, or are there other suggestions coming through that might just be about different ways of working, that are maybe just where it's about safety and not necessarily about finance?
Absolutely. So we had another great presentation this morning from our in-house traffic management company, GTM, and they're working on a brilliant new technology whereby we can remotely monitor traffic light systems from a control room. So it removes the need for a manual operative on site, and we talk about exposure to risk for our operatives. There's a large piece of work that our business is doing now around violence and aggression, and that piece of technology is going to give us the ability to not have to send vehicles and people to construction sites in the first place. We can remotely monitor what's happening and react quicker to any issues that we might be seeing on that site from a safe and secure environment. So we talk about investment in people. That's another way we're thinking of, an alternative way that we can protect those that work for us and enhance their working environment.
That's really good to know, because that's a lonely job. As you say, it's a risky job. You are exposed to aggression, to abuse, especially abuse, potentially violence, the prospect of being able to redeploy that person somewhere else, I'm sure there are lots of other things that person could be doing within the business.
Absolutely, and it just as a traffic management function, it allows them to be more nimble, respond to emergencies quicker, because you haven't got the same pull of in-day activities that might spring up because something's fallen over, or lights are stuck on red, or there's something happening whereby customers are skipping the lights. So we see it all the time. People trying to get to work, they get frustrated and do things perhaps they shouldn't. So by seeing it in real time on a camera, it's going to be really positive for the industry and us as a business. I think the second thing it adds is a level of trust with our local authorities. Again, they're watching what we do and making sure we comply with the relevant permit conditions. And I think if they've got a live web link that they can see what we're doing in real time, they know that we're working safely, we're doing what we said we would, and it allows us to be in a place where we're trusted by them to undertake war work. And we should see then off the back of that, hopefully, a more lenient approach to allowing us to get onto the highway quicker to respond to our clients' issues.
Are stakeholders like local authorities, like water companies, power companies, etc., are they impressed that we have do they know that we've got an innovation forum? Are they impressed by the fact that we've got one and we've got this ideas forum?
Yes, I think simply yes is the answer. What I have seen is offshoots of the innovation forum starting to now pop up within our clients. So certainly within one of the areas I work, they've replicated that, and they're taking some of our ideas and implementing it within their own business. And then I think they then have some of our ideas of their own, and we're seeing the sharing now across different forums. I think that's really positive, and what that does is allow people within our business to then go and be part of that forum and integrate us within wider client-based networks, and it's starting to seem a real positive.
Oh, that again, that's good to hear as well, because that collaboration is crucial to all this, isn't it? Collaboration across Network Plus within the forum, and then that cross collaboration with the wider industry. That's
absolutely.
I mean, you must be particularly sort of pleased that you're seeing that happening, and that you've been part of this story from the start.
Absolutely, and I think as we look to expand and grow as a business, customers will want to work with people that have those kind of behaviours and want to be part of their business. And ultimately we're talking about moving into alliance type arrangements, partnerships, and so that we need to be seen to be wanting to integrate to their business as much as they're employing us to provide a service. So it's very much that give and take, and really glad that they want to engage with something that we've created.
Do you ever get frustrated at the pace of change? Are there potential solutions out there that you've been looking at and you're thinking, oh, we need it now, or we needed it yesterday?
All the time. There's always logistical challenges to getting new technologies or whatever into, whether it's the UK or to the market. We've seen one this morning where there's an issue with a supply chain in America, and they've trialled it over there, and we're talking about a time delay to get it into the UK. Of course, that's always going to happen, but I think in terms of as Network Plus, we've got an ability, and I think that's recognised, to make things happen very quickly, whether that's the service we provide or giving a new product or service to our clients. I think we can move at pace in a safe way, in a way that our clients can't, hence why I think they look at us as a leader within this industry to provide this new technology, because we can implement something far quicker than some of our clients are able to.
Within Network Plus, what's the rivalry like between contract directors in terms of, who can be the most innovative, who's the best performing? How does that work?
I wouldn't say there's a league table, but certainly we do try to make sure that we are all pushing forward. I'd say, look, between the cohort of us, we have different skill sets. So like I said, there's a few of us that are a little bit more willing to go and do these type of activities and create forums. Others are more finance based, and others are more operationally skilled. And that's the importance of the team we have, is that we can all support each other. And I think when Victoria and I set this forum up, the rest of our team were quite happy to support us, and they feed in where necessary. And likewise, if we have challenges across those areas I've spoken about, they're always leaning in to help us with that as well. So like I say, we're not fighting each other to get to the technology, but we're trusting each other that it will happen.
And is there a particular innovation, a project, something that's come through the system that you're particularly proud of?
I think going back to the AI piece, we're starting to see a real development in that space around that leak detection, and that's something I was on a call yesterday with a supplier who's using heat technology to proactively get to those leaks on the network, and we're starting to see a product now that's available to us. It's in the UK that we can deploy, and it involves not having to dig up any of the network. So it's a product that flows through the pipe and finds the leak and seals itself like a patch repair. And that's something that we're working hard to integrate into what we do, and we're working on opportunities now with various clients to add it as an additional service to what we already provide. So that's something I'm quite excited to keep pushing forward.
It sounds very similar to a product that, casting my mind back several years, a product that you used to drop into your engine oil to fix a leak.
Yes,
is it that type of?
Definitely, it's very similar. And I think coming back to how we started, a lot of these technologies aren't necessarily new. It's just how we perhaps adapt what's already out there to suit a particular problem at that point in time. So there's lots of small niche businesses with solutions like these, and we just have to be, I guess, clever enough to find a way to implement them in how we provide a service.
And Network Plus is growing. So we hear Chief Executive Kevin Fowley talking about 2028 and becoming £1 billion business. That's a significant growth from where Network Plus was, say, 5-10 years ago. How important and what role will innovation play in helping us get to that 2028?
It's massive. I think Kevin talked about the challenge around finding enough people to facilitate that challenge, both within Network Plus and the industry. The pressure we're going to face is going to be enormous to meet the challenges of the spend that we need over the next 5 years. So we talk about AI technology, and there's another couple I'll come back to in a minute that we're looking at, but we have to make our team's lives easier. We have to find ways that they can go about their day job without having to think about it too much. It just happens, and we're facilitating that with technology or plant or process. So we're talking to various other suppliers like Cogna and Vin. Cadent have implemented the trial of Vin very successfully, which is starting to use AI technology to review the works we're doing on site, so we're not manually having to check street work setups, and we can spot areas of failure quicker. And then we're working with Cogna around solutioning the way we operate from teams. When they complete a job, they send the information back to a system. How do we visualize that quicker in terms of a dashboard? If you imagine Sky Sports and you've got Jim White on the screen, he's saying what has happened today in the world. What we're trying to create is something very similar where we can see what a team's done, where they've done it, any issues, and it's like a live dashboard feed that we can monitor across the business. So quite excited about that as well.
Right, so where's that going to leave the old Excel spreadsheet?
Hopefully in the doldrums somewhere, but again, there'll always be a place for those tools, but the quicker we can move away to automation is absolutely the right thing to do.
So AI then, not to be feared but to be embraced. We just need the right solution.
Absolutely. If we don't do it, others will, and we'll get left behind, so we'll stagnate. And it's important we understand how it can support both us and our clients with achieving our solutions.
Well, that's interesting, isn't it? So in the world of innovation, if we are standing still, then we're actually going backwards because others are out there doing this and overtaking. Thinking at some of our competitors, do they have innovation forums? Have they got this type of activity going on? I suppose the secret is in the word competition, isn't it? So how often do you take a look over your shoulder and think, oh, what have they got going on?
I think We see it all the time. So while others are particularly good at marketing some new technology as well, and we just need to ensure that we are doing what we can to be at the forefront of that activity as well. So we can't stop what others are doing. We can't focus on what they're doing. Yes, we can have a look and can we steal some of that and improve what we're doing as well. But I think with the forum we've got, the energy we've got behind it, and the passion in the exec team to make sure that keeps transmitting new ideas and solutions to the workforce, we're going to find enough that we stay ahead of that market and keep providing new solutions.
And ultimately, the organisation's about people, isn't it? So it's people who do all this work. It's people who come up with the ideas. It's people who do the work with operatives on the ground. Where does innovation fit in to the working lives of the people who work for us?
I think they will see their job as very day to day, so that they know they come to work, they know what they need to do, and they go home having provided a successful job for us. But what we need to do is make innovation part of their world that doesn't disrupt what they have to do. So I go back to it. We need to enhance their livelihoods at work, make their lives easier, make them be able to work more efficiently or safely or whatever that looks like. But they need to fundamentally come to work, do their job, go home. And if we can make that slicker or more effective for them, that's what we're here to do.
And are you noticing, away from the forum itself, are you noticing innovation in other parts of Network Plus, such as, say, recruitment, with new recruitment drills, training, and other areas? Are you noticing any of that?
Yeah, so those central teams have started to roll out new technologies. So in recruitment, we've seen Pinpoint come out, which is an effective way of managing recruitment across the business now, and it's starting to quicken how we recruit people and how we advertise ourselves within the marketplace. And it's going to be really important. You come back to the point you made about getting to 1 billion. We need more people. We need to put ourselves out there in terms of why come to work for Network Plus, why we're better than the competition. And Pinpoint is one of the tools that's really helping to do that now.
And in terms of recruitment then, how do you identify innovative people? How do you identify people who are going to be a good fit for your contract?
I think, again, it comes back to identifying a diversified set of people within each contract. So what we do is simple. So there's going to be all sorts of individuals we need to drive the work forward every day. Again, we're excavating, we're digging. That in itself is quite a simple task. I think what you then and what we think about is how do we attract within management teams a different skill set, like Forencia, for example. We've spoken about how we would never have thought that an individual like her would fit within Network Plus. But as we evolve and as we grow and as we think about how we can expand, we're going to need individuals that have her type of mindset and her ability to problem solve that perhaps people within our business currently don't. And that's really crucial.
Have you ever had an experience where somebody said to you, hang on a minute, Dan, that's not innovation, that's revolution, and we can't possibly roll that out here?
I think that there's always a resistance to change. We see it everywhere. A simple way of looking at that was the rollout of the electric plant and tools we've had across a couple of contracts. And there was huge resistance from people out in the field coming away from petrol bits of tool and equipment. So your steel saws and your whacker plates and all those types of things. And what we've proven actually is with engaging that workforce, telling them what the benefits are, actually we've come away, there's less downtime, less reliance on fuel, no oil spills on site. We're not having to fill up pieces of equipment with fuel. We're recharging from solar panels, and the impact we've had is quite phenomenal on a couple of contracts we've had. So there's always a resistance at that level in terms of the change. I think rather than is it too radical, I think there's always a row back to existing technology, and is it too slow? So you talk about people talk about innovation around vacuum excavators. That isn't necessarily innovation. It's something that's been around for 25 years. But how do we now implement that piece of technology into a day-to-day activity across the business, for example? So that's more the other way of looking at it, rather than is it too revolutionary.
And the companies that we work with, I think Speedy on Plant and Think Higher on Solo, how strong is our relationship with partners like that?
Oh, they've been great. So they're more than willing to come out to site. There's demos all the time. We're able to get to them and trial new products as soon as they come to market. And the relationship our central supply chain team have with them is second to none, really. We can call on them any time of day and night. The phone is answered, and that adds to our ability to be one of the most responsive, or the most responsive utility contractor, not only providing plant but sustainable plant in the industry.
And do you see that approach extending to our fleet at some point?
Absolutely. So we're already trialling electric vehicles. So most of our supervisors in the business now run from electric powered vehicles, so the smaller vans. Far more difficult to get that technology into the large sprinter vans, type vans that we see for the dig teams. But absolutely, it's going to come, and we've seen. We talk about competitors. There's some people out there with HGVs now on battery-powered technology, so it's coming, and we need to be ready to implement the support technology to integrate that when the market's ready to let us do that.
And is there anything else on the horizon that you've got in your line of sight and you're thinking, we need to be ready for this and we need to be ahead of the curve and this is how we're going to do it?
Not as a specific item. I think that what the forum would enable us to do is see them coming. So by having a wide variety of people on that call with different areas and networks, we're going to see those opportunities before perhaps others would. So by having 30, 40, 50 people on there, all providing strong input, and the forum is one where it's very vocal and people get involved, that's the way we're going to get to it, rather than focusing on one item. Things are developing all the time, technology changes, AI is moving, and we just need to make sure we stay on top of how that looks.
Is there ever a danger of ideas coming forward or businesses coming forward or suggestions, solutions, and it's a bit like the emperor's new clothes? Absolutely,
and we come back to those technologies I spoke about that have been around for a while. So we're very wary of not trying to sell something or implement something that already exists. So that there has to be a value add, and we go through that analysis and make sure, is it something that's really going to add value? Otherwise, let's not waste our time reviewing that product or process, whatever that looks like, because there's enough out there that we can get through if we want to, and so we need to make sure we're utilising that time and funding wisely.
And when products or processes are being trialled, is there an invite to others around the business to come and witness that, experience it for themselves to see if that will work on their patch?
Yeah, absolutely. So we ensure that there's more than one trialist, I'll call it. So we have a couple of guinea pigs on each product. It might be at various ends of the country. It could be different product types, so across water or gas. What we're then trying to ensure is that we get a robust trial of whatever it is that it might be that we're trialing, and then that is something that's shared, and any operations managers or project managers or what have you across the business can attend and look at that anytime. So that's what we're trying to encourage.
And the forum itself, then, we're looking to the future. We're looking to 2028 and beyond. There's a lot of investment in utilities and infrastructure now. Do you see the Innovation Forum constantly being part of that? Is it around for duration?
It has to be. There's no way of getting away from it. If we're not innovating, like I say, we're going to get left behind. So we want to grow it. There will be areas and offshoots that start to spring up off the back of it. For example, the Safe Dig working group, we've now separated that out because it's such an area of focus for us. We need to dedicate specific time and people to providing solutions to safe dig practices. It's something that's so important. So I don't think it's going anywhere. I think it's actually going to grow, and we're going to see other things start to spring out of it that we didn't know needed solving.
Right. And is Brendan Meanwell, is he involved in the Safe Dig group? I've never met anyone as passionate about safe digging as Brendan.
He's certainly been nominated along with 15 other willing volunteers, so we're looking forward to get that one started.
Finally, Dan, we're seeing record investment into the industry now, and within the context of that, we're aiming for significant growth at Network Plus. How exciting a time is this to be involved in this industry and with Network Plus?
I think everyone within our business has to feel excited. We speak about how we're on a strong platform to progress and our journey to £1 billion. That's very real. We can see the opportunities within the current marketplace. We're not going to have to do too much in terms of that strategy to get to the growth plan that we want to. In terms of everybody then within the business, that provides such an opportunity for whether it's new careers or how they get to where they want to get to in life. So it's really important we focus now on developing the plan we've got and providing innovative technology to help us on that plan. It's a really exciting time, and yeah.
And on a personal level, as a contract director, you must be very excited about where this industry is going.
Absolutely. As I said, we're seeing record investment from all of our client base, and we have to take advantage of that and to be part of this industry where data and technology is really starting to excel and come to the forefront of what we do. Perhaps an industry that didn't used to see that investment in such things is going to be really exciting to see where that takes us.
I think that's a really good place to finish, Dan, because we've got innovation and investment. They're here to stay. Hopefully you're here to stay too. I'd like to wish you the very best and thank you for joining us today.
Thank you.